And then we had a few writing sessions. I went to like a small summer house and with Kim as well. And then like fought over how it should sound, a bit of friendly fights and such. And
well, as always.
And then we make Kim be a judge, like which way, this way or that way, and then Nicolai says this way, and he gets his way.
Hello, you metal pilgrims, and welcome to the new episode of our interview series on MP2. Today, I'm more than happy to welcome the two guys from Mol, Can and Kim. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I think we're tired.
Very well, thank you.
Good thing. Where are you guys at the moment? In Denmark?
Yeah, we are.
How are things over there with the situation?
Well,
it's starting to get cold, I guess.
Yeah, it's starting to get cold, but well, for vaccine plans and all that's been rolled out, so we're actually back to normal with live music and such. So that's pretty. It feels good to be back.
I can imagine. At this point, I think we all are so fed up with everything going on, around the world, that all of us just metalheads want to go back to, normal life, whatever the new normal will be. When
I got to crowd surf again, I really thought I wouldn't get back to that ever.
Yeah, that is awesome. At one point, I just want to be in a crowd at this point. Anything will work.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. But obviously, the big news about Mol in the next couple of weeks is that your second studio for Diorama will be out on November 5th via Nuclear Blast. So, guys, first of all, congrats on finishing it up. Despite any pandemic or anything going on around the world. Yeah, and could you guys talk just a little bit about the creative process behind it? How did all of this come together into this one piece, rather coherent piece, I'll be honest with you, which we can hear today or on November.
You can talk a bit about the instrumental side.
Yeah, I mean, it was written during Corona, so it was a different recording process than we had usually. Nicolai and me bounced the demos around a lot, and it was like sending files to each other instead of meeting up and recording it. And then we had a few writing sessions. I went to like a small summer house and with Kim as well. And then like fought over how it should sound, a bit of friendly fights and such. And
well, as always.
And then we make Kim be a judge, like which way, this way or that way, and then Nicolai says this way, and he gets his way.
Well, there usually, I think there would have been at least half an hour of debating, and then they would bring me in. Which one do you like the most? That one. Oh yeah, I win.
It's not like what's it's just we win, you win. But it was different to write this time, and also yours took ages to write. Honestly, and this one was quite shorter.
You I think when I
2016, before that for your kept changing, and with this we were much more confident in what we wanted to do and what we are allowed to do, because we're allowed to do whatever we want, So that way it was sped up a lot, the process.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So when did you guys actually start working on it? Because you finished last album in 2018, it was, right? So it's been 3 years now. So when did you guys start working on this one?
Well, I would almost say after the Holy Raw, slightly beforehand.
Yeah.
Then we started like working.
Well, Holy Raw actually did get a peek of some of the new songs. Actually, yeah, they did. I remember us sending them at least 4 of the singles.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, I'm way off then. I can't remember shit.
It's okay. All right, guys. So as you understand, I was actually able to listen to the album a bit earlier than most of other mortal human beings on this earth. First of all, I personally enjoyed it a lot. Like, I personally loved it. I think, as I said, the word coherent is one of the most descriptive words for me personally, right? I mean, it's one of those albums you kind of want to sit down and listen from the very beginning until the very end. But I gotta just ask this: the opening track, Fraktur, I mean, that might be the most uplifting and cheerful opening for for a black metal and black gaze-driven album ever. I mean, I actually had to double check if I'm listening to the right one, but it kind of worked in a way, and I thought it was great. Did you guys specifically write it as an opening track for the record, or?
Yeah.
Well, I remember
you had an idea.
Nicolai just doing a practice one day, like a really weird riff, and I was like, that sounds great. Try and do that again, and he's like, we need to make that a song. And there was just the sound and those three like notes, and then I kept pushing, and then it kind of resembles a song like Rush we've made up before in song structure, that it hardly repeats. It just keeps moving forward, more momentum, and then we release.
Well, it's the same thing with Storm as well. They have some of that opening track qualities.
Yeah, and as I saw, like the sound it had, that beginning, sweet, it just made it very natural to begin with that. And also because it's also a statement that we don't have to do like what is bound to black metal or whatever, but still speak elements.
Exactly. For me personally, I mean, I listen to a lot of new music, on a weekly basis, and this definitely caught my attention right away. And I'll be honest with you, and this kind of what made me very eager to find out how you will structure the album overall, later on. And so just my greetings on that one. I think it was a very captivative, opening in a way.
One of the funniest, best tracks to record on drums as well. So.
Yeah. Awesome guys. I cannot wait for everyone else to listen to it and let us know what they think about it. So Kim, and the question for you, what are some of the lyrical lines which are running through this record? Anything particular you guys wanted to kind of portray? And
I think you can find a lot of things up with the title track and the album title as well. It's called DIORAMA, and a diorama is like a 3D representation of a scene. You can view it from different angles, and I have for a lot of the stuff that I write is either inspired by experiences or by movies, and this particular album has an offset in the movie called Hereditary by Ari Aster. Have you heard about that one?
No, I saw it. I've seen it.
It's a horror movie. It's a really good horror movie, and a debut by this this instructor. He made another movie called Midsommar as well. I think 2 years ago or something like that. But the protagonist of the movie, she makes dioramas. She makes miniature models of traumatic events in her life. So she has this obsession of trying to work through whatever she's been to. This is like mainly like her mother is a big part of that movie, even though that the movie starts out with her mother's funeral. So it's like this ghost that's just looming through the whole movie, and how her past is kind of tied to those anchors of 3D representations. But instead of releasing her, it actually keeps her in place. So I get quite inspired. I got quite inspired by that thought that, she tries to, break out of the power that her mother has over her life, but she actually ends up by obsessing so much over that, she ends up losing herself in it. So I see the lyrical concepts of diorama encapsulating a lot of the processes I've been through, with dealing with various experiences in my life. But I would say that this actually kind of ends on a more happy note, or at least a more optimistic note, the title track and the track just before it, Tvesind, those two tracks are pretty closely linked. If I'm really fond of emotional narratives, and I think that's what we try to do with every album. Like every track actually leads into the other. There's not a particular track that should sound like distinctly like the other. So it's a way of going, you know, there's always like a climax in story, and there's a conflict, and then, you know, a way of finding this a narrative throughout the lyrics, as well as the song structure and the moods that we go through. So that is one of the main concepts of you know, the album. It's going through a thought process, or at least the moods from, you know, Fraktur is actually about you know,
it's my command.
Yeah, it's about it is about confronting stuff, looking stuff
from the outside,
yeah,
right? Looking from the outside in, like sort of reflecting over yourself, in a different perspective.
And you end up in a kind of conclusion at the end.
So would you say that this is the album that you kind of have to, what we started talking about at the very beginning, you kind of have to listen in its entirety? Despite it being, I mean, it's not really a concept album, right? You cannot say that it's a concept album, right? But in order to understand it, in order to feel it properly, would you say that, you know, you kind of have to listen to it?
Yeah. It's made. It is. I think it's specifically made for vinyl, or at least to have a full experience and
coherent listening experience.
Yeah. One of the reasons why we really love working with Tue Madsen at Aim Farm Studios is his way of making bands sound like them.
Yeah.
Like he has a way of, instead of putting his sound on top of it, he tries to bring out some of the essences of the individual acts. At least that's what.
Yeah, you don't get the Tue sound, you get your own sound. Right? That's what he's really famous for, and you can also hear a lot of this album is more chaotic and more dirty,
more organic, noisy.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise, because that's sort of a lot of what we felt like and what resonance in the music, right? And it's polished, but it's not polished, and that it's kind of raw, and like small, you know, almost mistakes, right? It's performance, a lot of it. You know.
Well, I see your being an album. It was kind of an album with a more crisp, or at least like really defined sound. Where this is, I think it has more leeway in terms of
earthy and wider.
Yeah.
Other one is more cold and controlled, which is also, I think, this is also more as like a human, like psychologically close album, especially lyrically. While yours was more overall perspective, right?
The grand scheme.
Grand scheme of humanity.
Well, I think the first album really had a lot of the themes of mortality, what to do with life, and is it even worth? Are we just a blip in the grand scheme of things? And this is more. The themes are more based on the relational things. When there's nothing left, when there's absence of faith or of purpose, what do you end up with? You end up with each other, for better or for worse.
Okay, makes sense. And since we guys, started comparing the albums already, this is your first album with Nicolai Blast. So how was it, working with a label like that? And did it actually differ from what you did before?
I mean, besides, it's great working with them because they're really professional. It's also somehow seeing such a big label that have made some of the best releases of my youth and prior bands I believed in heavily. They showed a lot of confidence in us. Right?
Yeah.
They were like, "This is great. What you've made is awesome." Right? And there's also like entirely we have more money, you know,
Yeah.
to make it with all of the song, right? That's just not much. Musicians, well, paying, is this a live record interview? You don't make a lot of money as a musician, right? But they made it possible, and they have given us connections and belief that we can actually go way further than we ever thought possible.
Well, I think the confidence that they have, at least in our sound and where we wanted to take things, they just left a lot of things up to us. I think many of us, at least as teenagers or younger, we imagine big labels actually controlling a lot more. But I think as far as our experience there, they got where we were going at.
There was no influence in that way. I mean, I thought they'll be like, that chorus should be shorter. Can you make a sound that's more like this, or make it sound more like yours, something like that? Nothing. It was just from straight goes like, that's great, you know. And like, we even sent for feedback, and it's like, well, you know, it's all good, right? And it didn't seem like, you know, just like, whatever, make what you want, right? But it was like, it's legit good, right? And we don't want to mess with, if you feel that's the best way, then it's the best way, right? So they supported the artist, right, in the process.
This is awesome. And I feel like overall the times, you know, with labels are changing, and the label interaction with the musicians is changing at this point, right? And for more authentic, you know, sound, and by, you know, interfering with it, you make it less and less authentic, of course. Yeah.
I think at least it sounds a bit more like a collaboration, and
instead of them buying,
exactly.
There was nothing like it. So in that sense, I'm also, it feels great, right? Because then you also feel more confident about the bands that were assigned to it, right? It was a real deal. They just have great eyes for that stuff. I mean, they chose us.
Awesome, guys. And I guess there's no good time for a pandemic for anyone, right? I mean, yet for you especially, the timing kind of couldn't have been worse in a way. After an amazing reception of your debut record, you, like everyone else, had to, you know, stay locked in and lock yourself up and not be able to go on road, and, you know, be kind of prisoners of the situation. So how did COVID affect you as a band, as your, you know, as you moving forward? I mean, did it have any effect on you guys at all?
I think on a personal level, there's a lot of, you know, everybody. I think for us, it was mostly actually a kind of a break off to.
It was a blessing in disguise writing.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it was also hard because you couldn't see each other, and and you're kind of spooked. Like, some of the members have kids, right? And it's like, can we actually meet up and practice, right? We don't want, and pregnancy was also more.
We can't see each other because, you know, none of us has been vaccinated yet.
Also, like people close to the band had also family dying of COVID. So in that sense, it was in certain ways great that we had the time. But we had to adapt to it for a certain way. Writing of it and not seeing each other as much.
But what I think was a really predominant feeling that we had to kind of focus a lot, and in some way, I think we would have. I don't think we would have written stuff just as focused if we were living in the same town, for example. Well,
I hate programming firms.
But we got, you know, it was a necessary push for us to go, you know, full on online collaboration, because Nicolai lives in the other side of the country and our bassist just moved up north 1.5 hour by car,
which is nothing, but we have kids, twins.
This is like my commute to work, so that's okay.
But we used to live in the same town, everybody. So in that sense, especially when there's kids involved, you just know there's going to be some compromises at one point.
All right, so. And I wasn't going to bring this up, but since you guys started talking about kids, I mean, can you agree on a favorite song from this record, or is it like a favorite kid question, like an impossible one to choose?
Favorite song?
Favorite song?
Yeah.
You just said it today. Well, maybe.
Vestige?
When he just changed his mind.
Well, I have.
Shit. Oh man, hard question.
Well, I really like Diorama. I really think that track is our ode to one of our favorite bands, Mew.
It's also a vastly different song compared to everything else. Because that is typical post.
Yeah, and we have Catherine Shepherd from Sylvain on as guest vocals. It's just that track just came really well together, and I feel like it's a great epilogue to that emotional journey that I think the album is.
Fuck it, I'll say Vestige then. I love the lead.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning on taking this song on the road?
Huh?
Are you planning on taking this song on the road?
We
Which
already have Vestige.
Vestige, yeah. We've actually played Vestige. I think Diorama that will need some more practicing.
And
especially because of
there's a big element in it that's missing in the sense. She did a great job with vocal performance in it,
and my clean singing, I'll be pretty much on my own doing those parts.
That's why I'm asking exactly. Yeah.
Well, we are practicing it, but I think we will not be with. I think it's really difficult not to have a second voice on it.
I think it's a hard song to make. If we were making like a whole album show, then it's a thing where we definitely would get in people to make it. But it's a hard song for live tours around the world because you would probably need not access, help to fill out what the song was made with.
Yeah, especially I think it is made like a duet.
Exactly.
So I think we have to figure out a live edition of it in some sense. We would like to perform the whole album, but for now I think we're sticking to the songs that are I think mostly up our alley, especially the ones that actually can get a party started, just like Vestige. He's pretty much inspired by Travis Barker on the drums on that song, at least. That's our latest single.
Go buy it on iTunes today.
We'll close with this part. So guys, and what is then next for you? I mean, any confirmed plans on taking the album on the road outside?
Tours.
Where anything confirmed for you around Europe?
Not other than our headlining tour in February with Ithaca from the UK. We're doing a short run.
It'll be Germany, United Kingdom, and Holland, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a like some common road. That's not all of Europe, and we know that. Right? That's
but it is a European
for now, right?
Yeah.
You know, we would love to go further, and we also have some plans pointing out. But as everybody knows, there's a lot of
variables into the mix. COVID willing.
At this point, again, fingers crossed that all of this madness is going to be behind us, and we will all be able to enjoy metal the way it's supposed to be enjoyed in in sweaty clubs and on festivals rather than on internet. Because I always say that real, metal experience lives only in real concerts.
Yep.
It lives in the heart, man.
All right, guys. I don't want to keep you here for too long. I assume you guys have other conversations as well. So just a couple of more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. First of all, who are your biggest influences in terms of music? I mean, what do you listen to when you want to get really inspired by something?
I mean, Nicolai, who is the main writer of the album, is heavily inspired by bands such as Mew and Alcest. I don't know if they've been a huge influence on him.
Yeah, and Sonic Youth as well.
Sonic Youth. He's very much on the shoegazy side. And I guess lyrically, there's a lot from the sound of yours, hardcore inspired. I would say.
Yeah, well, lyrically, I think, well, that's the thing. Like I don't think
just mention band names.
Just as a
go
vocalist,
ahead.
Everything chaotic hardcore. Just say it. What about
up.
Norma Jean?
Well, I really like Converge. That's at least one of the bands that I'm inspired by as a vocalist. But for the lyrics, we do mix a lot of Danish into the mix, and that was actually not planned at the get-go, but it actually ended up something that I fell in love with. Uttering stuff in your or uttering lyrics in your native language just has another intimacy, authenticity to it. No, like spoiler alert, like the Danish songs are pretty much the songs that I feel mostly connected to. Yeah.
That's awesome, guys. And the last one, just to close the conversation, and this is something we usually do to close the show. It's a little bit of a tradition at this point. So can you guys share just one craziest story which happened to you on a road, with the band? Something you can legally share?
Bunny, that big hair. But is there anything better?
Do you remember when we were playing, was it in Köln? In Cologne, when Christian, our driver, was chased by these guys, he was always almost getting beat up.
No.
We were parking in their spot, and we had to load the things. We had to walk across from the venue, and there was these tramways, and we had to carry the gear across this big street from the venue and over and putting it in. But our driver was waiting with the car, and these 5-6 guys, it was like a Friday, and they really wanted that spot. They were hanging out in this great BMW, and they, they looked very threatening, and he had to drive with the van, and we were just stranded there. And then he came back. We loaded the things in, and then we went a couple of blocks, and they were stopped by the cops.
Oh, really?
It sounds like it's a muff. Well, I guess I was just drinking then.
Yeah.
I guess we have a few, but I mean, that was kind of meh.
Was it?
Yeah.
Do you have anything wilder?
But we don't have time for that.
Yeah. Okay, bring the bunny up.
Okay, fuck it. We played somewhere, I don't remember when, because I don't remember that kind of stuff. And I woke up on the floor. We were sleeping, it was early beginning, and then the guys come like, "Oh, Ken, there's a big ass bunny in the fucking living room." Like we said to some dude, and I was like, "Yeah, fuck off, that's not a big bunny." And I wake up, I use contact lenses, I can't see shit normally, right? So I go in there, all tired, we have been drinking, and I go in, and then there's like this, it's not a bunny, it's a hare, like a giant fucking hare, this big, like big up to like a meter tall, and it looks insane. And it's mentally ill or something, right? Like the eyes were all crooked, and we asked, "What the fuck is that? Why do you have that?" And there was a tiny ass apartment, right? And then he's like, I mean, I haven't eaten in a week or something. I forgot about it for 2 weeks, and then when I came back, it just looked like that. It just stared around, and there was also a room filled with like, I don't know, weird stuff on the walls, right? And giant snails around the house. But I just can't forget that fucking bunny, man.
Well, you had to leave that place pretty fucking quickly,
he was
right?
also getting like crazy angry, one of other guys from the bands, but it was just you don't want to see that kind of bunny. They look like a Donnie Darko or something.
Awesome, guys. I just hope that you guys will be able to hit the road once again pretty soon around the world, and have more and more of those stories, just like everyone else. Guys, thank you so much. No bunnies. All right, guys. Any last word for your fans, both old and new?
Nah, stick around.
They will.
Stick around or join in. This was Null FM on radio. I don't know what to say.
Awesome, guys. Guys, thank you so much. Ken and Kim from Mole. Just as a reminder, Diorama will be out on November 5th via Nuclear Blast. Pick it up. It's a great record. Pick it up on a physical copy because this is the only way to enjoy music properly. Thank you guys so much and keep rocking.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See ya.
Have a good evening.
Thanks. You too.